But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Let me tell you about my great God.
Hey guys, Pastor Tim here. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you're ready to get your day started off in God's Word. We are in 1 Kings chapter 18, and the drought continues. Remember the thing that Elijah prayed about at the beginning of last chapter. It has now been about 3 years, and God tells Elijah to get up and to show himself unto Ahab. Now when we get to Ahab in this chapter, he's with another man, a governor of sorts in the land of Israel named Obadiah. Now Obadiah, he is a good man. He believes in God. He follows God. But he's a great picture to us about the compromising Christian, all right, which I sadly believe is a pretty relevant thing that could be pointed out to many Christians in the church today. He's privately serving God. He does good things. He saves many prophets alive from Jezebel's tyranny and such, but that's all in private, and in public, he's still trying to have a good working relationship with the wicked king Ahab, all right, and I feel like that is a picture of many Christians today. And in Sunday, they're all about serving God, but the rest of the week, they're about trying to keep that working relationship up with the rest of the world, with things that may cause them to compromise their beliefs or even do things that they know they shouldn't. Obadiah is a picture of that to me, the compromising Christian. But we meet these two guys, all right, because Ahab, he trusts him, and he knows he's a very wealthy man, and he says, hey, let's go try to find some grass, some water or something so that we can save our horses and mules, all right? He's not really even concerned about the people of Israel. He wants to save his horses and his mules. So they go in their separate ways, they're looking, and then Elijah shows himself unto Obadiah, and he says, hey, tell Ahab to come see me here. And Obadiah, he doesn't know what to think about this at first. He's kind of scared because he's fearful if he goes away from Elijah to tell Ahab that Elijah's over here, that Elijah's going to run away, and then Ahab's going to get mad at him and decide to kill him right then. All right, so he's very fearful to do this thing Elijah asked him, so he kind of brags in a roundabout way about all the good things he has done for God in secret. He said, hey, well, I've also saved all these prophets alive. And Elijah, he doesn't have time for all this stuff. So he just tells him, don't worry, I will definitely show myself to Ahab. I'm not going to run away. Your life is safe. So Ahab finally comes, and he immediately blames Elijah. He's like, you're the man that's been troubling Israel, correct? And Elijah's like, no, that's not the case. You, King Ahab, you are the man that's troubling Israel because of your sin and the sins of your father and leading the people of Israel away from God. That's why this drought is in the land. You led them away from God to worship Baal. And that's definitely how life is like a lot of times in the world today, where people blame other people for their own failures. All right, because of their own sin. Many people, they can't see their own sin, so they blame someone else for all the things that are going wrong in their life. But Elijah, he proposes a contest. He's like, hey, today we are going to find out whose God is truly God. All right, bring all of Israel to Mount Carmel, and this is where we get the what's probably most famously known for Elijah, the fire coming down upon the altar. So they go to Mount Carmel, and 850 prophets of Baal go as well, and Elijah proposes this contest of sorts. But before he does that, he tells the people, hey, Israel, how long halt ye between two opinions? If God be God, Jehovah God be God, serve him. If Baal be God, serve him. Apparently in Israel, there's a lot of fence sitters, all right? And it's not comfortable to sit on a fence, all right? People who can't choose between one or the other, much like Obadiah, God or Ahab. And Elijah's telling him, hey, no more sitting around, no more being neutral. Either God is God and you follow him, or Baal is God and you follow him. And that's my main point for today's chapter that I got out of it is, guys, hey, each and every day of your life, you got to choose, am I going to live for God today, or am I going to live for myself? There's no in between, because if you try to be neutral, if you try to live each and every day to appease both man and God in your life, you're going to end up choosing loving one or the other, and you're going to end up not making any progress in your spiritual growth or producing any sort of fruit in your life as well. So it's important that we answer the question Elijah proposes here. All right, hey, how long halt you between two opinions? Are you going to follow God, or are you going to follow Baal, or follow yourself or the world? You can put anything in that slot over there. And the sad thing is, I think many of us responded the way Israel very much did in this chapter. They said nothing. they didn't know what to answer, or they didn't want to answer. It's like when I ask questions in our teen class, and a lot of times the teenagers are just like, just quiet. All right, we can't do that as Christians. We have to give an answer. All right, and do understand that your silence is also an answer in and of itself. So anyway, that's the main question that we need to answer that I got out from this chapter. But just to finish the chapter off, they have the contest. All right, they both build altars and they're praying unto their gods to see who would bring fire down. The prophets of Baal go first. They fail miserably. They're crying unto God. They're marching around for almost the whole entire day. They're crying unto Baal, not God. I'm sorry, I said that earlier. They're cutting themselves. They're just making a big spectacle out of everything. And Elijah, he's just having a good old time sitting back there. And he's like, hey, maybe you need to be a little louder. Maybe Baal's taking a nap. Maybe he can't hear you right now, which would not be a very great God at all. And we know Baal wasn't going to answer because Baal is not real. He does not exist. So eventually it gets to Elijah's turn. He builds himself an altar as well. And he puts the sacrifice on it. But not only that, he pours upon barrel after barrel of water. So the whole thing is soaked completely to where, humanly speaking, you could not even light a match or a torch or anything to get it to light on fire because it was soaked through that much. Yet when Elijah prayed, God immediately sent fire down upon that sacrifice, upon that altar, and it burned up the water, it burned up the sacrifice, and it burned up the altar as well. And it was a very amazing miracle that happened in front of all the congregation of Israel there, so that they could see that Jehovah God, he is God, not Balaam. And then after this fact, Elijah had all the prophets, all 850 of them slain, all right, which is a good example for our lives. If we want to follow God, we have to forsake and eliminate those evil, sinful things in our lives as well. And then the chapter ends, he prays, and he finally brings rain back to Israel after 3 years of a drought. And we also get a hint of the fastest man alive in the Bible as well for a brief moment in time. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for today's chapter. Main question is, who will you serve today? How long halt ye between two opinions? Will you serve God, or will you serve whatever it is you put in place of God in your life, whatever idol that you allow to come into place, just like Israel allowed Baal to take the place of God in their lives back then as well. Hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.